What is going on, everyone? Derek Hudson here with tip number 5, halfway through my 10-part series of things I learned from the 2021 season. And this one's going to be all about tackle storage. I tried some new things this year. I did some things that I had done the last couple of years. Just the things I like and things I didn't like, and just a total breakdown of my tackle storage and what I learned, what I am going to change in 2022, all of that. Here it is. Let's get to it. So, let's start off with the things I tried new for the first time this year. So first off, the Edge boxes. Plano Edge boxes. This is their Elite Series boxes. So, these are designed to keep your lures more rust proof, and also to keep water out, more organized. They just got a lot of features built into the boxes to help you do a better job organizing and to keep your lures in a better shape every single year. And I have to say, I haven't found anything I didn't like about this box. So originally when I got this box, as you can see, this is my bladed jig and swim jig box. And let me break it open to show you. So, see, it's loaded up. And originally I was wondering if my box is right in my boat, sitting up like that. And with these little, almost like fingers coming out that you slide your jig heads down in, I was wondering if shaking and rattling like that in the boat, going an hour and a half down the lake, if that was gonna make my jig heads start to fall out. And it hasn't. The few that are in there that are turned sideways like this was just, I ran out of room and I put them in like that, but they did not fall out of there. And this box has done a phenomenal job holding my swim jigs and my chatterbaits. You know, it's been an awesome box. Now, I will say, this right here is a silicone packet they put in, like a little silicone packet holder they put in these boxes to help absorb moisture if you get some in there. Say you're fishing in the middle of a tournament and you've got to open this box to get you a new chatterbait out in the middle of a downpour. You're going to get water in there. You put a lure back in there that's still got a little bit of water in there, you're going to get a little bit of water in there. So the silicone packet that's in this little gray box right here is supposed to take that out. It's supposed to absorb it and keep it from rusting your lures. But I haven't had enough time with this box, so I'm just going to be honest. I do not know how it does as far as rust proof and keeping your lures pristine year after year. And I haven't even tried the silicone packets in here. You can actually bake those and get the moisture out of them so that you can use them again next year, and you can keep that fresh pack in there. I haven't done any of that, so I'm still relatively new with these boxes. I love the way that they're sealed, waterproof. They hold your lures great. Your lures are not going to shake out and be all over the place when you're done. So it just keeps your lures more pristine, and from the heads beating on each other and stuff like that. But honestly, I don't have enough experience to tell you if it's going to prevent rust and if it's going to do the things that it's supposed to do on top of just being a great organizer. But love the box. It definitely does a good job holding a bulk amount. I mean, I probably have, I don't know, I probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 swim jigs in this one row. I've got 2 rows of those, so it's got over 50 baits in there. And it's phenomenal. So that's a box that I'm definitely getting more of for next year for different baits. I've seen people use it for jerk baits. I've seen people use it for different things. So that's definitely a box I'm gonna get more of next year. So here, another thing I got, the Plano Edge spinnerbait box. And I've got another one, I've got 2 of them that I'm also using for a buzzbait box. And this box is phenomenal. Just like the other one, it is same thing. Got a seal in it, keep it watertight. You can see it holds a pile. Get you a good look there. It holds a pile of baits, and I mean, you can tell on its side, I've got roughly 12 to 15 spinnerbaits in there right now, and I can easily hold probably another 30 or 40, no problem. So a lot of storage. Same thing, it has a big pack in the bottom for this moisture absorption to keep your baits rust proof and it just keep everything in pristine condition. So yes, another box. Another thing I like about this box is it's built with these heavy duty handles. So when I'm grabbing it in and out of the boat, that's an awesome feature. Another thing is I haven't taken the sticker out. That's how new the boxes are to me. But I'm gonna take a sticker out for 2022 because it's nice to be able to look down and be able to see all my spinnerbaits lined up. The ones that I can see half the box right here. It's nice to be able to tell what I've got without even having to go in the box. So definitely gonna get another one of those probably for my big spinnerbaits. I'm gonna get some super heavy duty because I fished a lot this year offshore, and I just kept thinking I need some 1 ounce, some 1.5 ounce, some big spinnerbaits for that offshore deal, and I'm probably gonna get a box dedicated solely for those. So love those boxes. The buzzbait box, same thing. It's the exact same thing. It just holds the buzzbaits in there great. Just plenty of room to store a bunch of them in there. So yes, that is a must-have box. I definitely will get more of those. But moving on to right now, I've got in front of me soft plastic bag. Another Plano product. I love Plano products because the thing about Plano products is I can get a lot of these boxes, other than the edge boxes, are a little pricier, but you're getting a lot of features for that price. But the stuff that's more, that you're gonna see it here in just a second, that's more economically feasible, it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to use, they're still great products. The latches don't break on them, the little dividers stay in there and keep a good job of keeping everything separate. So even the cheaper boxes are just quality boxes. I've always enjoyed the products they're putting out, even on the cheaper boxes. So Plano gets my vote, great products. But moving on, this is their soft plastic bags. And this is the 40 worm bag, speed top fold. And what this bag has allowed me to do, it has allowed me to store a bunch of soft plastics. You see it right there. It has allowed me to store a bunch of soft plastics in an organized, stackable fashion. And before, I used to use Ziploc bags. I used to use just different, just random, like if I went to Bass Pro Shops or I went to WW Novelty and I got a heavy duty plastic bag, I would just keep a lot of those plastics in there and just throw them in the boat. This has made my plastic organization just that much better, and I love them. These bags are awesome. I've got 8 of them, and no zipper breakages, no zipper misalignments when I'm unzipping them. No problems. These bags are phenomenal. This is an older model. I will say one thing I do not like about the older model. So if you see a sale somewhere, so eBay for example, the thing I do not like about the older model that they improved on the newer model is there's nowhere, because it's a black bag, it's nowhere really good to write with like a Sharpie, unless I guess I got a silver Sharpie or a whiteout pen or something. But just a traditional Sharpie, there's nowhere to really label this bag really good. Whereas the new bags, there you go, here's a new bag. The new bags, examples, they have a label spot. So that's a neat feature that they end up putting on the newer bags. Truly love those bags. if you're in the market for soft plastic organization, those bags are phenomenal. And like this, for example, had, as you can see, all of the missile D-chunks with the clamshell packaging in there, like that. When you put clamshell packaging, soft plastics in this bag, it keeps a good shape. That's another thing I love about it. So I wish all soft plastics had clamshell, but some of them don't. And that's just the way it is. But these bags are still good either way. They're definitely awesome with clamshell packaging. So next thing, terminal tackle. I keep all of my terminal tackle, like drop shot, shaky head, wacky rigs, all my terminal tackle, different aspects, I keep in just traditional. These are the 3600, I think. 3650s, Plano boxes. And these are, Plano does make some really low end boxes that are designed for people that just don't have much money, but they still want to organize stuff. But I spend a little bit more, and I get the ones with the heavier duty latches, and it doesn't have any waterproofing, but it's still a pretty tight box the way it's designed, where the lid right here kind of has a channel that this part of the lid goes into. It keeps most of the moisture out for the most part. But these boxes, as you can see, they're not quite as tight. They're not quite as tight as the Edge boxes, in that right here at the top, you saw I had a few hooks that have made it over that lip, and it's just because it's not as tight. They're not, but for the price, you can get a bunch of them. You can organize your tackle. Like I said, you know, I can organize them in the different categories of frog, drop shot, shaky head. You can organize them in the different categories and just have a bunch of organized boxes. So good boxes, not the best in keeping your stuff super, super tight into the separate compartments, but you get what you pay for. You know, they're not as good as the Edge series, but they're still great boxes. And just make sure you're getting the ones with those heavy duty latches. They are really good boxes. If I ran into a super steel on the Edge boxes, I might replace those, just to be honest. But they're still great boxes for the money. So moving on, hard baits. So all my crankbaits, top waters, glide baits, anything that's got treble hooks, basically, they get a bigger box because, one, you got a bait with treble hooks, so it's going to take up more space, period. So I put them in this is 3700s, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if it says in there. Yep, 3700s. So 3700 box. This same latching system, the heavy duty black latching system. They make these in all different colors. I've had them with the clear, with the red and the blues and the yellow. There's a bunch of different styles, but that heavier duty latching system is the strong. I've got, man, I probably have 20 boxes, 25 boxes like this with that Pro Latch system, and they're durable, super strong boxes. So anyways, what I like about these boxes, the 3700s for crankbaits and any treble hook bait, top waters, all that, is you can hold a bunch in there. You know, this is deep diving crankbaits, which are big baits in general. And I've got 20 in here in this one box. And that's the way I label them. I label them 15 plus. I do 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and 20 plus is what I was doing. And this year I went to 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and 15 plus. And the reason why I did that is because I found out that the 20 plus crankbaits were not really something I was getting a lot of play with. I love fishing shallow water. I love burning down the banks, and there was no point in keeping another 5 pounds of deep diving 20 plus crankbaits. So I just put some of my 20 pluses in with my 15 pluses and just made one 15 plus box, and that covers my deep diving crankbait needs. That might change. I might go back to the 20 plus just because this year we fishing a lot more summer tournaments because I'm fishing a lot more. And my best finish this past year was on a 6XD, so I might be stocking up some more on some deep diving crankbaits. I love Spro crankbaits. I got some Storm Arashis in here. I got some old Norman DD22s and stuff like that in here. 6 cents crankbaits. I like a bunch of variety of crankbaits in whatever brand I'm using because I found not every crankbait's the same. You know, I can clobber them one day on a 6XD, and if it's a multi-day tournament like a Toyota series or something like that, the next day they might not be biting that 6XD as good. So you gotta drop to a 6 cents or a different brand just to get more bites. And that's also, I know a lot about crankbaits. I know what kind of sounds they have and what they're made of. You know, like the Spro crankbaits, a lot of times they have a softer rattle in them. So you can take, or like a DT series has little to no rattle in it. So you can just be more finessey. If you clobbered them on a louder rattling crankbait, the first day of an event, the second day you might go to a more subtle crankbait. So just having all those different varieties, all those different brands, I think makes me more successful multi-day tournaments, and that's why I do that. Another thing, this is something that I had to learn the hard way this year. Mag drafts. If you throw a Megabass mag draft, grab one here. I lost a few of these to just bad storage. And what I mean by that is I was taking them out of the package and I was throwing them in boxes like that. And the tails would get warped up. The bait would actually have, one time the bait actually melted inside the box a little bit. I guess it got super hot. But these baits are best stored just like this. When you get done fishing it, put it right back in the original packaging. And the way I figured that out was Chris Zaldane, Mag Draft King. He said that's what he does, and sure enough, been doing it this year, mostly the second half of the year, and by far the awesome way to store these up. So there's just some tips. One thing I have learned this year is do not put your tools. I buy several pairs of pliers, several pairs of cutters every single year. And one of the things I learned this year is that do not put your tools in a box like this that's gonna hold moisture, because they are gonna rust. And I don't care what they claim. I bought some nicer stuff. I mean, there might be some out there that can resist it, but whenever you trap moisture on a product, especially a pair of pliers or a screwdriver or something like that, it's gonna get rusty. So, good tip, do not put your tools in a sealed box and try to make it last for a whole season, because you're gonna use that tool most of the time in a wet situation, but down a fish's mouth, just after he came out of the net or something like that, you're gonna get moisture on it. Then you gotta throw it in the box that's it's just gonna rust away. So that's another thing I learned this year, and that's about it. That's just the tackle storage aspect of it. Line storage, I've actually got a Plano. Plano makes this big, I don't have it right here with me, so I'm just gonna explain it real quick. But they make a big trunker style storage box, and that's what I keep my line in. I actually saw recently a post talking about using reel bags for your line storage, and I actually am going to try that this year. So the black trunker case keeps the light off of your product, keeps your line supple and ready to go every single tournament. So that has worked great, but for a little smaller storage aspect, I think I'm gonna try this year the reel cases, like a soft bag reel case. Bass Pro Shops carries them. There's a few different companies that make them. So that's one of the things I'm gonna try this year. But there's my tackle storage. If you've got any questions, feel free, drop a comment. You can even drop it on an Instagram page if you want to. Just send me a comment, asking me anything you need to ask me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can and answer all your questions. I hope some of this helped. I hope you see some things that I'm not sponsored by Plano. Seriously, just this is a company that I've liked their products for many years and have used enough of them to figure out what works, what doesn't work. So Plano makes some good stuff. I ain't sponsored by them, but they are a good company. Please feel free, ask the questions. Thanks again. Appreciate you tuning in.